Hello, welcome. My name is Janette Kopecky, and I'm an independent Scentsy consultant, and I'm here today to be able to discuss with you hostess coaching and a checklist, and a helpful checklist that'll help you to get the job done. Why do we want to coach our hostesses? Is because we want to make it as successful for them as possible. A lot of people will say that their parties were unsuccessful because the hostess was not quite into it. Well, I dare say that the party is only as successful as you set it up to be. So let's get started in sharing how to go about making your hostess coaching and your party a success. So it starts well before the actual party begins. So say, for example, you just have a conversation with a friend or a family member or even a possible stranger. You get them to book a party with you, and so now what are you going to do next? You've set the date. Where do we go from there? We're going to discuss 4 different things in today's session. 1, hostess coaching. The first part of our coaching is going to be how to open up a party on your personal website. Now, your workstation is where we do this, so you have that for free as you joined as a Scentsy consultant. Whether you have a personal website or not is something that you have decided to have or not have on your own, so I would definitely suggest you take a look into that. Having a website is going to be oh so important to be able to allow people from outside of the party to be able to order if they can't make it. It's crucial that you have a website. I truly believe so. The second part to our party is sending an email for save the date. So this is something that you can send to your host, and they can also forward it off to the guests of your party. The third thing in our checklist that we're going to go over today is how to build a host packet. What goes inside of it? There's many different ways to do it, but I'm going to show you my techniques and how I go about doing so. The last part is we're going to talk briefly about communication and how important that is to stay connected with your consultant or with your host or your future consultant. So let's get started. Let's just cook right into it and get started. So I'd like to be able to show you how we can actually open this up on, I'm going to get in here really quick, and how to open this up on your workstation. So hopefully, let's see, there we are. Hopefully you are seeing this here. Let me see if I can get in here really quick. Oh, you don't want to do that. We are going to do it this way. Okay, so we'd like to go ahead and open this up so that you can see how I go about putting this on your workstation. Now, as you can see, we are in the workstation here now, and you should be familiar with how all of these tabs look across the top. But the main one that we're going to be looking at today is the Orders tab, okay? So next, we're going to go into Scentsy Order. See that little button off to the side over there? It's called Scentsy Order. We're going to click on that button because we're going to be creating a party. As you see, it opens up a brand new screen and it automatically clicks for home. Yes, we want to keep it there. And we want to make sure that it's on your PWS. Again, you're going to get used to these acronyms. PWS represents personal website, okay? So we want to make sure that it's on there, so it is clicked yes. Do you want to use the party planner? We're not going to do that in this episode because I want to make sure that we show you with an email versus using your party planner. But the party planner is yet another valuable tool in order for you to use to be able to add more invites for your party. You can try to play with that on your own, or you can go ahead and just wait until we do that part of that again. So getting started, I'm going to go ahead and put in here my name, but this would literally be the name of your your hostess that's going to be having this party for you. The party date, I'm going to set it for Saturday the 21st, and we're starting it at 10 a.m. and we're going to end it at 12 p.m. Of course, you fill that in exactly how you want to when you know the details of your party. All right. So now we're filling this in. It's auto-filled. Next, we go over to the host information. This obviously is going to be your host or your hostess that you're going to put into here. But for today's purposes, I'm just going to go ahead and put my name in there. It's going to auto-fill. And then it's going to ask you, where do we want this party shipped? Now, I'm going to speak briefly on this. It gives you 3 choices: host, consultant, or other. You can have it shipped to somebody at a business if you are concerned about whether that box is going to be okay where it's going to be delivered. So in other words, if the customer works somewhere in particular, you can have it shipped to that separate address. Another thing is, most importantly, I always recommend to have it shipped directly to you if it's local, because that gives you the opportunity to provide impeccable customer service by boxing, bagging, separating, and labeling everything for your customers. So I highly suggest that you always pick consultant, okay? Next, we're going to come over here to this little button and click continue. From there, as you can see, you have your product order details, and this is where you're going to actually be entering all of your orders once everything is completed and done. Now, we can also, as you see, there's a party link here. This party link is going to be the link that will take them directly to your website. So if somebody clicks on that, it will take you directly to that website. In fact, let's try it and see what happens. There you go. Takes you right to my personal website. And if you open up My Open Parties, voila, Janette Party is right there, okay? But for these purposes, we're gonna go back. So I'm gonna copy this party link. As you can see, there's a button there, and there's a reason for that. So the reason I wanted to copy that is because next what we're gonna do is we're gonna go into an email and we're gonna create that for your hostess. So I've created this already, but this template I actually received from the host coaching checklist that you find on your workstation resources tab, okay? And it says it directly word for word on a sample template on there, basically talking to your hostess, confirming the party and the time. And what I've done is I've gone ahead, and your party is set up on my consultant website, and anyone may now shop party online at, and that's where you're going to fill this in. Paste, fills it right in for you. Okay? So it goes on to say that, you know, they want to invite as many people as they can, and then it also asks, let your guests know that if they bring a friend, they're going to get a free scent circle. Another thing that's really great is if their host, and if those people host their own party from your hostess's party, then they will qualify for free and host rewards. Plus, your hostess that is hosting this party now will be able to get an extra half-priced item just by going to their party. So we do everything we can to entice them, and Scentsy sets that up for us to be able to allow that opportunity without having to necessarily come out of our pocket for it. Great, great thing. Okay, so next, we are going to go back into stop sharing, and we are going to talk briefly about what goes into a hostess packet. Now, why do we give out a hostess packet? The reason being is because you're going to be seeing these people, or your host is going to be seeing people at work, their friends, their family, and they want to get as much hype built around their party as possible. Hopefully, we're setting this party 2, 3, maybe even 4 weeks ahead of time so that we can be able to plan well ahead for these people. So this is what I'm actually using. Upside down, silly me. This is actually what I'm using for my host packet. Now, you've probably seen these in the Scentsy Family Store. And yes, I use pretty much everything from the Scentsy Family Store because I figure if they have it, why try to reinvent the wheel when it's already created for you? So as you can see on the back, it has a way for you to be able to log all of your sales in there and be able to put the customers' names as they see it here, okay? So again, it's called a Scentsy Planning Packet, okay? What goes inside this little baby? Now, keep in mind, I will take about 2 to 3 of these with me when I go to a party, and I'll explain that to you in just 1 minute. So first I put in there my little hostess letter. And what the hostess letter does is it just explains a little bit about the party and what the contents are inside her host packet. It goes over details of how to reach me and just some basic questions that they may have, okay? You want to make sure that everything is labeled. So your name, your address, your telephone number, everything is on here so that they do have a way to be able to contact you. This paper, you can also add in the link for your party so that they have that in that spot as well. You can never put it in too many places because it is something for the host to be able to refer to on so many different levels, whether they have the packet with them, whether they're online, or what have you, okay? Next, what I put on there, in there, is a customer sheet, okay? This is called a guest list. Now, this guest list is crucial because it will set it up for you ahead of time, your hostess can, to be able to get all of her invited people's addresses and phone numbers well ahead of time so that you have them, okay? It's also really crucial to be able to label it again. Now, another huge thing that I do with this is I entice the hostess that if they will have this filled out with 10 names and submit it to me, or as many, fill this entire thing out. If they need another one, tell them you'll run it off and you'll give them another one. Fill this out as best as they can and get it back to you within, I don't know, set a time frame, within 5 days. And then make sure that when they turn it back into you, the full addresses are on there. So guess what? You can take invitations, fill them out, and send them out for your hostess, for her, with already stamped and everything. The stamps are really inexpensive for postcards, so you're doing the work for her. All she's doing is providing you the addresses. If she can get that for you, I always entice her with a little free sample or something so that you can say, hey, you do this for me and I'll give you an extra prize. Great way to be able to do that. So what else do I put in there? I put catalogs. Always make sure to do at least 1 to 2 of the big catalogs. The reason being for these is because this is the only catalog where you can see combine and saves. Okay, no other catalog is going to give you this combine and saves. Not your product lists, not your showcase brochures. So it's extremely important that we put at least 1 to 2 of these in there. And then I also put product lists in there. Now, the great thing about the product lists is that they're fairly inexpensive. You can get 150 of these bad boys for about $9. So I put at least 10 in there so that they can hand them out like water. You can never get these in too many people's hands. Even if they end up leaving them somewhere, guess what? As long as it's labeled with your name, address, and telephone number on there, it's going to be seen and they could possibly come back to you. Okay. Next, I want to make sure that you know to put in there host brochures so that she can create the buzz with her customers or with her friends and customers and family to host a party from your party, because she'll get rewards and they'll get rewards. I always want to make sure to put join brochures in there. Now, I want to talk a little bit about host and join. Remember I said that you want to take at least 3 host packets because you want to have a goal when you're going to your parties. Your goals should always look like having at least 2 to 3 parties booked from that party and having at least 2 to 3 possible consultants for your team. So not only do you want to have host packets, but you're going to also want to have possibility packets, join packets for those people that are interested in a little bit more than partying. Maybe somebody wants to do this on their own and this is a great opportunity. So I put 2 of each of those in there. I also try to put at least 1 to 2 of the fragrance and warmer of the month in there. And as you can see, I've added a little sample for the fragrance of the month. And this just shows them the specials of what's going on because these are always 10% off. Okay. Last but not least, I put in their order forms. Don't forget about these. And on the back of the order forms, as you can see, my name and telephone number and my address again, so that they have the information ready for them should they have any questions. I also, as you can see on the top, I filled out a sample sheet so that they can actually see how the invoice needs to be written. Now, there's no set way with how to do it. Even if they wanted to contact you and you write it down for them, that's fine. But I always try to make sure that this is done. Guess what? Another hint. If somebody else is filling this out precisely well, you will know that that's probably going to be your next best host or possibly your future team member consultant, because that's how it works, folks. You're always going in with the purpose to find out how you can be able to get this blessing into other people's hands. Okay? So that's that. That's the host packet. For questions on that, I actually got that directly from the host coaching checklist on your resources tab again. So feel free to check that out. Last but not least, I wanted to just talk about communication and how important that is to keep those lines open with your hostess. Now, as you saw, I labeled everything. You want to make sure that everything has a label so that they have a way to contact you. The worst the worst thing that can happen is that they don't see your name, your address, your telephone number, and they can't contact you. That's why I literally have sprinkled my address on my labels on everything, so that there's no chance that they can ever have a problem with not knowing how to get a hold of you. But more importantly than that, you are going to be proactive and you are going to be staying in contact with them. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to tell them, all right, I've given you all of this information now, and I'm going to contact you again in 3 days or in 4 days, and I'm going to discuss with you what happens on your next steps with that. That next session 2 is going to be available in video that I'm going to have available for you soon, so stay tuned for that. But I wanted to just really make sure that you understand, you set these things up, I promise you, you be methodical about doing this and you stay consistent with doing this, it'll become a habit and it'll end up being successful for you every time. There are times when parties are great and times that parties aren't great, but guess what? People are watching, people are listening. People that are involved in your parties are going to remember how good of customer service you provide, and it's going to allow them the opportunity to say, maybe I'd like to be able to join a winning team like that person's team. So hopefully this helped you today. If you have any questions, you can reach me at my email, jkchicscents@gmail.com, or you can reach me on Facebook, my our Team Illumination page, or you can check me out on Janette Kopecky, Independent Consultant, leave a message there. So hope all is well with you guys. I am so excited that you're getting started and getting going on this. Even if you've been around for a while, hey, why not? We got to start somewhere, right? I reinvent myself every month. So I challenge you to do the same. So anyway, you guys go out and have a great day and happy partying. Bye-bye.